Well, look at this. Feeling you. I'm feeling leopard with Vic the Brick Jacobs right there. PJ over here with the palm tree. Victor, you have such a collection behind you of beautiful items. Now, is this a Yuko thing? Is she doing this for you? What's going on?
Yes, these are kokeshi dolls, Japanese kokeshi dolls made from wood and uh, handcrafted into beautiful pieces of art. They're called kokeshi dolls.
Kokeshi.
And Yuko is a kokeshi collector, and we have them about the house.
Nice.
And they're good luck, and they're wonderful, and they're holiday driven. And speaking of holidays, everybody have a great holiday season,
Oh,
a
yes.
wonderful Christmas, Feliz Navidad, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, for the
Well,
whole thing.
we got to kind of jump out of order here. I know we've got our little list of the way we like to do it, but you're mentioning Christmas, holidays, gifts, all that stuff. How about our boy Luca giving three, what is it, 300 electric bikes to the Lakers and their staff, and at a cost of about 300,000 bucks, his Christmas gifts to them. Why weren't we on that list?
I know. I mean, e-bike is the perfect gift right now. I
Yeah,
mean, how many crazy Seiko watches can you buy your teammates,
yeah,
or Rolexes or whatever? This is a beautiful gift. What a great gesture
really.
uh, from Santa Luca. I
Santa
mean,
Luca.
it just shows you the closeness of the team and how Luca has fit in so really flawlessly, how he's been accepted, how he loves playing with this group. Uh, this is a great gesture
Yeah,
from Luka Doncic to
no,
hook up everyone with a beautiful e-bike. It's sensational. And
it's sensational. I mean, I'm just as awed in that as I am that I heard that the Clippers gave everybody on their staff a tricycle from Target.
well, it worked last night. We'll get into that game later.
Yeah,
But something happened to the Clippers last night. And of course, the Lakers are bagged up. But we'll talk about that later. But
yeah.
PJ,
Yes.
we witnessed the NFL game of the year on Thursday night. Seattle
Agreed.
Rams up in Seattle, so much on the line. Number one seeding in the NFC,
Yep.
number one seeding in the NFC West, and it did not disappoint. What an incredible game, PJ.
I think it was better than the Super Bowl. I don't know how the Super Bowl, no matter how that pans out, is going to be any better than this game that you're talking about right now. The Rams and the Seahawks anticipated to be a huge game, and it really paid off in spades. It was just an amazing game from start to finish, including, and of course, the talked about 2-point conversion, which, experts are saying it was the right call. He threw a backwards pass. Some were saying, was it really the right call? Should it have been done in this critical situation? There's so many back and forths on this, and the Rams lost over that play. So, it's a huge demarcation in an amazing game that was just so fun to watch.
It was a blown call by the referees. I mean, if you play football, that's an incomplete pass. I don't know what they were. I don't know what drug they were on. The referees saying that ball was in play. That was an incomplete pass. It was done. That's the play. It was broken up. Play's over. I don't care if it's rolling. It doesn't matter where it landed. It was broken up at the line of
Well,
scrimmage.
what they're saying is it's a backward pass, which makes it legal. Then it was a out. Then it was a fumble, and recovered by the
But it
Seahawks
wasn't a
in the end
backward
zone.
pass. It landed in front of the scrimmage. It didn't land in back of the scrimmage. I believe it landed in
No,
front of
no,
the
they're showing.
scrimmage.
I mean,
I mean, it was such a close play, but
closer
but
play,
you,
very
but you
close.
don't
Yeah,
make such a horrific play. Referees, you don't decide a game on that blown horrific
right,
call on a
right.
two-point conversion. Refs, you see the brick. Maybe Puka's right. Maybe they're just making calls so their friends can see him on TV. You see the brick?
There it
You
is.
freak!
Uh,
Gong, gong, gong me. Oh, yeah. to lose
They
a
earned
game
it.
like that, I feel Sean McVay's pain.
Yeah.
Felt his pain, and of course, it was a sensational game for Sam Darnold.
Amazing.
He got picked off twice, but he comes back again.
Yep.
All Sam does is win. Doesn't have the gaudy stats of Matthew Stafford, who solidified MVP again. I mean, 475 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's now has 40 touchdowns, 5 picks for the season, which is unbelievable. I mean, you remember no one thought he was going to play this year with the bad back.
Yes. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
comes back as having the best year of his career.
Some of these
What,
USC quarterbacks right now, USC quarterbacks with the Bears and Seahawks, they're doing well. They're doing well.
and how about Nakua? 12 catches, 225. His best game, despite the fact he had a hell week. Goes on this cockamamie podcast and destroys the refs, calling them, basically charlatans, that they're just making calls to get on TV to tell their friends. And then he talked about acting out an anti-Semitic touchdown gesture, which he didn't do. Thank goodness he came to his
No, he didn't.
senses.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, what's he thinking? Paka Nakua, we know you're young. We know we've seen you grow in a fifth-round draft choice. He's made it big. He's the best receiver in the league.
Yeah.
His numbers are so insane. But you got to think before you speak, Puka. That this was a rough week, and then his brother stole a BMW from a Laker rookie.
Yeah. What was that?
I mean, talk
Buy
about a
him.
hell week.
Buy
And
him
talk
one.
about talk about focusing. Despite all this crap happening around him, Puka Nakua, hauls in 12 passes for 225 yards and 2 touchdowns. So talk about compartmentalized.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So he was
And Victor,
unaffected by that, but still, Puka, think
oh,
about it, learn your lesson, move on.
you're too good for that. You're
Too
you're
good
too
for
too
that, man.
good
We
for
know we
young.
know he's a good person. We know he's a good person.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
know he's a good person. He's had a horrific week and made some bad decisions, but
Well, he's
he'll snap
young.
out of it.
He's young and he'll learn, and hopefully not too badly. You know who's not learning is me. My fantasy team. I'm in the playoffs, and like an idiot, I listen to the all the experts that say don't play Stafford because it's going to be one of those games, kind of low scoring, kind of this and that. Well, as we know, he took off. I mean, fantasy wise, he scored in PPR leagues, he scored like 52 points just off the roof. I benched him, but I do have Burrow in. Burrow could be a good shot today. I have that. He's got to come up big today. But Victor, I blew myself out of the water in the playoffs. It looks like, it feels like. I'll let you know how it goes, but you know, it's not good right now. It's not good.
Well, let's face it. This is it. We're down to a couple games left.
Yep.
There was a few games over the weekend. The Eagles took care of business.
Boy, did they.
They win the NFC East. They get past the Commanders. I mean, who was playing quarterback for the Commanders? Nobody. So it wasn't really a quality win for the world champion Eagles, but they needed it.
They needed
They
it.
had lost 3 in a row. Now they've won 2 straight. They've clinched the division. So they're ready to defend their title.
Yep.
So they're in the playoffs. But what a sensational game in Chicago,
Oh,
PJ.
another one.
What an amazing game. The Chicago Bears, once again, Ben Johnson, I'm telling you, he could be coach of the year as well.
Yeah.
He's definitely heavily into the conversation for turning around the Chicago Bears.
Yes. Yeah.
That was an amazing game. You figure, okay, they're down 7. There's 2 minutes left. Nothing's happened with Caleb Williams. Green Bay, despite losing Jordan Love to a concussion, whatever, they're still winning in
Yeah.
Chicago. And yet, the onside kick works. How
That's
often does it
amazing.
work? Like never.
8% of the time. I mean, almost never. Almost never. Since the new rule, almost never. And they pulled it out. They've become the cardiac bears. This
Yes,
is, this is like their fifth or sixth maybe win in the last seconds. And you just can't count them out. You can't count that team. You can't count Williams, another USC quarterback, and you can't count out Ben Johnson, of course, who you mentioned, who could be up against Vrabel and some other people for the coach of the year.
absolutely. And Caleb Williams, once again, that touchdown pass he threw to Moore,
Woo!
what a perfect pass.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Perfect. I mean, the Packer was all over Moore.
Yeah.
I mean, he was living in his jock basically on that play, and yet Moore was able to grab it, and that was the game. And Chicago went nuts. That
They
was
went
just
nuts.
a tremendous victory
Yeah.
for the Bears. And this is the nitty gritty, PJ.
Yeah.
The nitty gritty right now.
This is
Uh,
it. We're
AFC
down.
AFC West. My Chargers are heading into Dallas today. Very tough game.
That's a tough game.
Dak has his targets. Lamb is in the house.
Yeah.
Pickens is playing well. They have a ground game. They're home. Uh, this is a tough game for the Chargers. This is a
Well,
very difficult game to win.
they have he's dealing with a broken hand. Even though he's playing and he's doing pretty well, he's got a broken hand. I mean, it's like that's a big problem. And so yeah, I mean, in a game where normally I think the Chargers could win this, not easily, but they could win it. This is going to be tough goings today.
Absolute, a special, slight letdown
Yeah.
after eliminating the Kansas City Chiefs last week. Let's face it, until they were done, for me, Kansas City was still in it because of Mahomes, because of Andy Reid, because of their tradition,
Yeah.
their dynastic tradition. But the Chargers had a big win in
Big
Kansas City
in Kansas
and
City.
finished off the sweep of the Chiefs. Remember, game one in Brazil.
That's
Game
right.
one in Brazil.
That's right. Yeah. I
The
mean,
Chargers beat the Chiefs.
yeah.
A sign of things to come. That
Oh yeah.
the dynasty was over.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs have a serious rebuilding job, PJ, because number one, they haven't missed the playoffs in 11 years. I mean, the Super Bowls, it seems every year that they're always in the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl, and now they got to rebuild the offensive lines and tackles, and their wide receivers are not doing it from Mahomes. They don't run the routes from Mahomes, those scramble routes. When Mahomes starts scrambling, you're going to know what to do as a wideout, and these wideouts are not creating those pockets
No.
for Mahomes. Uh, their running game has been a bust. O-line's been a bust. Uh, Chris Jones, their all-pro defender, has had a horrible year. Let's face it. Let's
Yeah.
not mince words. He has not had a good. He's not had a good year.
No.
So,
No.
Pacheco, the running back, nothing.
Nothing.
So all their big names they expect to have big years really did not produce.
No. No, they haven't. It's been one of those years. I started saying it. We said at the beginning of the season, we said this is not going to be the Chiefs' year, and I think we nailed it. And it's just too many things against them. I mean, I saw it going down since they lost Hill, which seems like very old news. But at the
Tyreek
end of
Hill,
the day,
sure.
that was the beginning of the end for them, in my opinion. And then from there, yeah, they have Worthy. They've got some good players, but they're not stepping up to where they need to step up to. They're not protecting Mahomes like they were. All these little details, the running game's not keeping anybody off Mahomes because there is no running game. So all those things mixed together, I think Mahomes played about as well as he ever has. He's just had no help. And because of that, he ended up getting injured. And now, we'll see how his recovery goes. They say 9 months to a year to recover from that surgery. That's a long time. And then having to learn to walk again correctly and do all these things. I mean, that's a big ask. So it's a really wait and see situation for the Chiefs, and there's too many good teams coming up. You're mentioning them, the Bears, Denver, Rams, Bills. Look at these teams. How are you going to
Patriots.
compete? Patriots, how are you going to compete with these teams if you don't have your number one guy ready to go? The answer is you're not. So we could see the Chiefs in maybe a 2 to 3 year rebuilding period.
Well, with Mahomes out, this opens up a whole new vista
Yeah.
for the Buffalo Bills because
Mhm.
suddenly Josh Allen does not have to go through Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs where they never
Right.
experienced success over the
Right.
years.
Right.
So is this the year of Josh Allen and Mazel
Mm.
Tov on the birth of his
Yes.
new daughter with Haley?
Yes.
We're very happy about that.
I have a
And
Haley too, so I have
that,
my
that's right.
daughter's Haley.
That's
So
right.
Very good choice of names there for you. And
Exactly.
yeah,
So
I love it.
he and his wife gonna have a beautiful child, and
Yes. No.
there is something called that baby bump for quarterbacks.
Yep.
Once they become fathers, there's always an increase in their performance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Josh Allen may raise his performance even higher.
Ooh.
So Buffalo, obviously second place AFC East, behind New England, but it seems like the playoffs are definitive for the Bills, and,
Yeah.
and no one is playing better football in a playoff situation with a better quarterback than Josh Allen. So they got to be considered contenders. But who's not a contender, PJ or Pete Carroll? There's a lot of voices in Vegas saying they could cut Pete after 1 year. What do you think? I mean, it's been a horrible year. There's no doubt nothing's worked.
I think when you have that kind of a conversation where you bring when they brought Pete in, the Raiders brought him in, I think it had to be a conversation of this is a 2 or 3 year rebuild. I don't think Pete would walk in there and throw down his cards and say, I'm going to turn this team around in one season. So yeah, of course they could always cut him, but I think reality is whomever you brought in there, Andy Reid, you bring anybody, they're going to say this is a 2 or 3 year rebuild. We're not going to start beating all these teams that are beating our brains in 1 year. We're not ready. So I think they've got to give him at least one more year, just based on the conversation. We weren't in the room when he got hired there, but I mean, if I was Pete Carroll, the last thing I'd do is walk in and say to Mr. Davis, I'm going to turn this around in 1 year for you. We're going to be winning the Super Bowl next year. We're going to be in the playoffs. We're going to do all that stuff. That would be insane. I don't think Pete Carroll, he's too much of a football guy, too much of a football genius. I don't think he would say that.
But
Looking at
he
the
he he
talent.
knew he knew his personnel, but
Yeah,
it was depending on Geno Smith to have a big year, and Geno was a gigantic bust,
huge bust. Huge bust. Yeah,
and the number one draft pick, Ashton Ashty out of Boise State
yeah.
had nothing to run with.
No,
You could see
nothing.
flashes, but he had no space.
Yeah,
He had no holes.
no,
So
none.
so Gianti couldn't run, and Geno had no protection, and the defense is Max Crosby.
Yeah,
And it was befuddling to Raider fans because they thought, at least I did. I thought 8-9, something like that for Pete, an 8-9 record. But it's been horrific. They go into Houston, and Houston's a very very good team. We're very under the radar of the Houston Texans because their defense is tremendous.
Houston just exploded. We knew in the beginning that Houston had a great defense. They didn't
Yes,
they didn't play up to it though in the first few games. They
right.
just didn't play up to their potential. This team is in sync. This team is in sync. They're doing amazing. They look great. They're balanced. We always use that word balance because the defense, offense is balanced, and they are showing you what happens when that happens. A tough team to beat. We don't talk about them enough, but they're going to be a very tough team to beat.
Same with Jacksonville. No
Yeah,
one's talking Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence.
same, same.
Same, very
Yeah,
flying under the radar.
yeah, yeah,
This is going to be a wide open playoff. We got
yeah.
2 games left in the regular season. This is week 16, and still incredible, impactful games left. But when we get to the playoffs, it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. And for the Raiders, I guess the only good news is if they keep losing, they'll get the number one draft pick. So maybe they will get Mendoza,
Yeah,
and that could be a winner.
yeah,
But again, he'd be a rookie quarterback,
yeah.
and he
Well,
did it in college. Doesn't
yeah.
mean you're going to do it in the pros.
No,
And speaking of
no.
college, PJ, what do you think of the college football playoff first
Well, I
round?
think I knew your heart was broken when Texas A&M lost to Miami, but
Well,
you
not
know,
really. I'm more of a Texas guy.
okay, so you're okay
The
with that.
Longhorns got screwed by not even being in it.
They're not even in it like the Irish, but at the same time, um, we we talked about Oregon. They were going to crush, you know, uh,
James Madison,
James Madison. There was no hope there. I mean, James Madison put up
but they
some
didn't.
points, but
They didn't even cover the spread.
I know,
They
I know.
didn't even. I mean, and the Oregon coaching staff, Lanning and those guys were pissed
They were upset.
because they were up, to 30 at the half,
Yeah.
and they win uh, by
51
what?
to
50,
51 to 34.
17.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the spread was 22.
Should have been. They should have covered it. I
They
mean,
didn't cover the spread,
I was expecting them to roll out really 65 points, 70 points. I really was. That's
and
what I thought.
the Dukes came back
Yeah.
and outplayed them in the second half.
The Fighting Dukes.
The
Who knew?
Fighting Dukes of Harrisonburg, Virginia, go into Eugene, which is
Yeah.
a hell place, a place of hell to
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
Get blown out in the first half, but then they come back
They come back.
and
Yeah.
they lose by 17 and cover the spread. I
Well,
mean, to me that was sensational.
oh yeah, well, it was. You got to give him some credit for that. You really do. And of course, that Chesney's moving on
The
to
UCLA,
UCLA, so he kind of showed his comeback ability there. He didn't let them give up. He gave them a great halftime speech and got them psyched up. Whereas I think Oregon obviously let down, feeling, oh, we're rolling over these guys, and they let down, and you saw what happened. So, my hat's off to Chesney. We'll see him in UCLA and see how he does there. He's going to have to do a lot of inspirational speeches there to
yeah.
get that group up. Believe me, yeah, that's not going to be easy, there. But yeah, some magic there for the Fighting Dukes, even though the end result was kind of written in the wind. We knew what was going to happen there.
There was some very fun games. Alabama under the
Alabama,
radar a little bit, coming back from I think they 14 down,
yeah, yeah, 13,
and they
14.
and they come back and beat Oklahoma,
Yep.
and so they'll get Indiana at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
That's
they're
their
at the
next.
Rose Bowl.
That's going to be a good game.
That's going to be entertaining.
Alabama Indiana is a very nice game,
Yeah, yeah, that's going to be.
and got to give it up for the Tide. The Tide came back against a good Oklahoma team and beats them.
You know,
And now
it's
they're in the Rose Bowl. They've gone to the final, the next round. So that's good news.
yeah, yeah. It's good news for the economy too, because the tide shows up. Just like when Michigan gets
Oh
in,
yeah,
they show up. I mean, in herds of people come here. So it's good for the economy, the local economy out by the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. It's
that's a
good for
great
all.
point. They travel well. The Tide. The Tide will
Yeah,
roll.
yeah,
Roll
they'll be here.
Tide. I know.
They will be here, so that's all good news. If you got to have somebody in there that, whether you like them or not, whether they're your team, it's great for the local economy here in Pasadena. So that's a good thing.
I'm looking forward. My favorite game might be Oregon Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
Texas Tech very very much under the radar.
Yeah.
They could beat Oregon, especially if Oregon doesn't bounce back. After the second half against James Madison.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for that's a fun game that I'm keying on.
Okay.
Texas Tech.
Are you calling Texas Tech to beat Oregon, the Ducks?
Yes, I have good vibes
Wow.
for the Red Raiders. They've been under the radar really all year.
No, they have.
The Raiders have been under the radar, but they're a very good team. They have some incredible boosters who bought them insane players. It's not about recruiting now. It's about buying players. Who can buy the best players, PJ?
Well,
And
unfortunately,
Texas Tech has bought some great players.
they
We
have.
just don't know about them.
Yeah, they
But now
have.
you see them in action.
Yeah,
They're in the college football playoff under the proverbial radar,
that's it.
and now they get a chance to really shock the world by beating Oregon.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens there. That's going to be a game to watch, like you say. It's going to be interesting because everything's on the table. So that's going to be good. Be a fun one. I'm looking forward, of course, to the Denver Broncos getting in, and I think they're going to. I don't see anybody that can actually beat them, and I think they're going to get there.
Well, Nix has been inconsistent, but he wins.
He wins.
So then the defense is tremendous again. It's about who is the great swarming defenses because that travels.
Yeah. No, it travels.
That
It does.
travels. The
Yeah.
offense doesn't travel as well, but defense travels. Running game travels.
Yep.
And the Broncos have incredible defense, and they're all getting healthy. And Broncos look good.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
very, very I'm surprised at their success this year. I think that they surprised a lot of people. You called them early. You always like the Broncos.
Yeah.
I've been down with the Chargers from day one, and Herbert's had a hell of a year. Now he's got the fractured hand, but he still plays. He's tough, man. He's a
He's a
beast.
tough.
I
They
mean,
don't give him his
Jim
dues.
Harbaugh can't. He's oozing his love for him. Just
Yeah,
oozes.
yeah. That's a
His,
tough team to beat with him and Harbaugh and all that. That is a tough team to beat. The mindset of that team is amazing, and it's just starting to show itself. I mean, nobody thought that they were as tough as they are, but they are tough, and they've got the Harbaugh mindset, and they play up to that. And they're a dangerous team. They're a dangerous, dangerous team coming down the stretch, I think. So, yeah, they're really going to be fun to watch. And then, and also, we have to skip around a little bit because the Clippers, who are losing everything, are they going to be losing Lou at the end of this season? Is he going to be jettisoned? Is he going to be in the Pete Carroll stroller being pushed over the curb? What's going on?
T. Lue is safe. T. Lue is safe. He's a great coach.
Yeah.
I love T. Lue. It's just all the moves that the Clippers made in the offseason haven't worked.
Hmm.
They got
Ah,
old really fast. The Chris Paul fiasco. Um, no one has really panned out.
no.
Kawhi Leonard's playing. Had a really good game against the Lakers last night. The Lakers had a lot of injury problems.
Yes.
Luka hurt his side early in the first half. He did not return, so he was out. Austin Reeves is out. So a lot of the Lakers out. Hachimura out. Aiton out.
Gee.
So the Clippers came to play. It was
Yeah.
their home court. They had the worst record in the West at that
Worst.
point,
Hmm.
and they came in and really took control of the Lakers in the first half and never let the Lakers off the mat.
Yeah.
And the Lakers, whoever they had, did play decent basketball, but it wasn't enough.
No.
And Kawhi had a very nice game, and the Bears had a nice game. The Clippers still have some talent if they play defense, and they did last night. But that was still Feliz Navidad. Merry Christmas to the Clippers for the getting the win.
Get a win. They need inspiration. I feel like they have a good team. They don't have inspiration. I don't know where you get that from. T. Lou should be able to give it to him. Like you say, he's a great coach. But I don't know what kind of inspiration they need. I just know they need inspiration. They're at that point where, like you say, they have a lot of good players. They have gotten a little older, but the Chris Paul thing was a debacle, embarrassing. But at the end of the day, who's going to give them the inspiration? Who's going to rise up? Who's the team leader? You start asking yourself these questions and you go like, I don't know. I mean, who is the team leader on the Clippers? I don't know. Can't answer
Well,
that.
Kawhi is not a vocal leader.
He's not a vocal
James
leader.
Harden is not a vocal leader.
No, silent, silent.
Zubac is not a vocal leader. So you're right. They're devoid of leadership on the
Yeah.
court.
And that's what they
They,
need.
they can put up points, but not victories and no inspiration. So it's going to be a long, long
Yeah.
year for the Clippers. What a hellish year,
Oh,
for the wonderful Steve Ballmer, who's put
oh,
together such an amazing product. Built the Intuit Dome, one of the greatest arenas in the world.
he's amazing. He's
He's
done a great
amazing,
job.
and
He's,
I feel bad for Steve that
yeah,
he had this incident with Kawhi Leonard, and
yeah. Oh,
that crazy cockamamie situation with Kawhi,
yeah.
and now the,
This,
the the argument with Van Gundy and Chris Paul, sending Chris Paul home.
that was horrible.
That's just an ugly look,
Yeah.
and it's the
They
team.
need a,
The team needs a charge, but maybe last night can get him something. Beat the
maybe,
Lakers is big.
but they have to find somebody. They have to go out and find a spark plug for this team that's going to be the team leader on the court. Lose a great coach. You need a team leader on the court. They don't have one. So they got to look around. And there's plenty of guys out there that can do it. Can be a young guy. They need a team leader. They need someone to pick them up and pull them together because individually they can play great, but as a team, as we know with their record, they're not playing well at all. But you can, on the other hand, Victor, maybe you'll be happy about this, maybe you won't. But the Knicks winning the NBA Cup, each guy,
I like.
each
I
man
enjoy that.
getting $538,000 for that win.
PJ, that's more than the Dodger got individual Dodgers got for their playoff for their World Series check.
How
For the
crazy is
individual
that?
players, and they got like 480
Yeah,
thousand each.
yeah,
So now to get 538 per player to win,
per play.
this insanely really low key cup. Who cares if you win the NBA Cup? It means something. It meant $538,000 to each player. That was
Well,
big.
it meant something to the sponsors, obviously, because they put that money in. The NBA just shelled it out. So obviously, it's getting ratings. Obviously, it's exciting the crowds. But at the same time, like you say, it's meaningless. It's really
Well, I want to
meaningless.
give love to the Knicks, number one, for winning the cup, the first thing they've won in decades of any consequence.
Yeah,
But they're not going to put the banner up at the hallowed Madison Square Garden, which I like as well.
yeah,
The Knicks want championships. They don't want NBA cups.
no,
They're not going to hang a banner for an NBA cup. I know the Lakers had to hang it for publicity reasons. It was the first year of the cup, and
yeah,
Genie wanted to placate the NBA powers that be by putting the banner up. But the New York Knicks are not putting up the banner.
good.
And to everyone who say the Knicks should really celebrate this cup, no, you don't celebrate the cup. You
No,
celebrate the foundation it's built, and maybe the Knicks can come out of the East and play for a championship. So to all the Knick haters for saying, hang the banner, screw the banner. You see the brick,
hit
you
it,
see it.
eat it, eat it.
You freaks and gong me, you. Yeah.
Hang that up.
Go
Hang
Knicks,
the
go.
brick up. Hang
Go
that
Knicks,
up.
go. I'm a Knicks fan, but of course, I think the next game they got rolled by Philadelphia, but who cares? I mean, yeah,
Hey,
it's
they
like
got
that's
their
the NBA.
they
I mean,
got their Christmas money. I mean, they can go buy as many electric bikes now as they can buy more than Luka bought. They
that's
can. I
right. They can
mean,
go out there and get themselves a sensational gifts for
yeah,
their family and
yeah,
friends.
yeah. Upgrade those tricycles they got, from Target, and go get yourself electric bikes, about 3 grand each. You got $538,000 each. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, Clippers, and to everyone, because we have to go, to our fantastic, lovely, and beautiful staff,
Oh, the
Chris
best.
Donovan and Dave,
CD,
huh? Yes,
CD, Chris Donovan on the ones and the twos, man. Merry
yes,
Christmas to you, for your beautiful family,
yes,
to you and the beautiful family. You'd be incredible. Uh, my beloved bride, Yuko Sakamoto,
yes.
on the gong. She is the queen of the gong. She is my queen.
Hmm.
I love her so much. Graphics master Dave Cardona
The
putting up those
king.
beautiful graphics. He is the king.
The king.
PJ, you are sensational as
And
always.
as are you, Victor. And nobody can top that leopard wizard's hat of yours. Nobody
Ah,
can. I'm sorry. If I had to get you a Christmas gift, I couldn't top that. That's just
ah.
too good.
It's another gift from my beloved bride, Yuko Sakamoto.
Yuko, the
Um,
king, not only the queen of the gong, but the queen of background scenery and
Absolutely, she sets
settings. I mean,
everything up. She sets
she's
me up.
doing it all. She's doing it all.
Thank you,
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
Everyone have a great Christmas, a
Great
joyous
Christmas.
holiday.
Enjoy. Share this with your friends, please. And we'll be back very soon next week to do it all again.
Feeling You with Vic the Brick Jacobs and PJ of Gong the Ukes. Merry Christmas.